Hello there, it's me, my friends, it's MetaVerse Explorer. I'm back with another video just to keep you updated on what's happening in Star Atlas. Now, my friends, before we get to the information and the rest of everything that's happening in Star Atlas, because there is a lot to keep on track of, I just wanted to have a heart-to-heart with you. Just you, me, and let's just have a small chat. How are you going with Star Atlas Sage? I mean, for myself, I'm not playing it as much as I thought I would be, being honest. I don't know if it's because of the user interface. It is a bit more, there's a lot of math involved and a lot of organization, a lot of spreadsheet warrior approach for you to actually be super successful. And for me, I think that's not the kind of gameplay that I wanted, right? It's what we have so far, and it is pretty good for the people who love it. But for myself, I just couldn't find myself continuously coming back to it and continuously playing it, going to subwarp, coming back, exit subwarp, all of this sort of stuff. So for me, I haven't been as good as I think I should have been. I do get on and scan for SDUs every once in a while, but let's be honest, I'm also a bit scared, right? I'm a bit scared of taking all of my large ships. I haven't played with any of my large ships in Sage so far, in labs. I'm scared because I don't want to allow auto approval on my wallet, right? Even if it's a burner wallet, I don't want to approve, I want to allow auto approval. And once you do that, that opens you up to a whole bunch of risk. And these Star Atlas assets that I have, I don't want them to go, right? I took a long time and I've been dollar cost averaging down this whole way. And I don't think I'm ready to actually let it go from the ledger. And I'm sure you understand, right? The idea is that when you have your ledger, it's supposed to be safer, right? Rather than a hot wallet that has auto approve function on, so that no one else can approve any transactions and get rid of my ships out of my own wallet and then I'm stuffed. So that's not what I really want, right? I think I'm too scared to take him out. So I think until we have, and don't get me wrong, I have been playing a little bit with some smaller ships. Like I have some 20 Opal jets that go and do some small stuff for me. Like go and get some SDUs for a while and then go and mine a little bit. They're not the best ship to go and mine. It's non-optimized at all, right? It's absolutely horrible. If some of you spreadsheet warriors see what I have, you'll be so disappointed. But yeah, it also comes down to just time, you know. I play a game to be entertained and to take my mind off things. It's not when it turns into like a chore, I don't like it as much. Not to say it is a chore, but for me, it's not the kind of gameplay I do want. So I find myself actually playing Baldur's Gate 3 a little bit more often now instead of playing Star Atlas Sage. And I mean, I'm sure you guys know there's people out there who just set and forget. I'm not going to name what they are or what they do, you know, SDU scanning and stuff. But for me, I'm actually quite happy. I'm sure people are already sharing macros between themselves anyway to say, you know, oh, this is better, use this ship, go and do that. And yeah, it's much easier. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Just wanted to have a little heart-to-heart with you, and I feel bad that I haven't made a video in like more than 10 days. I checked my last YouTube video for Star Atlas, and it has been a while. So I was starting to get disappointed in myself. So I thought I should come on, make this video, because this is how sometimes I keep on track of Star Atlas myself. I forced myself to look at what the recent updates are. I forced myself to log in, go through the Discord, make a video, because you guys, some of you guys do get information from me in Star Atlas, because not everyone has time to troll through the Discord and to spend countless hours in there chatting with everyone and listening to all the different pieces of information. So I try my best, but sometimes, you know, I do get late behind, and because life just catches up, you know. So yeah, let's get started, right? Let's go through today. What are we going to be looking at? All right, my friends, let's actually see what's happening in Star Atlas right now. So let's give first off a big shout out to the third competition winner, which is for the photography career contest. This theme was the Friends and Crew theme. So wallet number 3RP. What is it? 3RPRBC. You're in the Discord. I see you, man. And this is a very beautiful picture of what seems to be PX6s going around PSR6s. R6? Yes, the PSR6, I think it is. Going around, and he's actually made like kind of like a Megatron or a Transformer from it, and then he's got someone else flying the ship, and then he's standing there. It's pretty cool. I like it, man. So a lot of people are still having a lot of fun in the showroom, right? Then this guy will have this NFT minted, maybe 100, maybe 1,000, and he may be able to sell it, and then now it's turned into a collectible in the Star Atlas universe. So that's pretty great. This is the first idea of Star Atlas actually allowing creators to create their own stuff in Star Atlas, and then using the Star Atlas economy to go ahead and, you know, give something back to the creators. Now we just need to come up with skins, right? We need to come up with actual consumables for players in the game, right? They'll have probably their own consumable loop, for example, or even, you know, their own kind of ships, right? Some kind of BIOS ship that anyone can create with different crafting components and gems and slots. all sort of stuff. But that's going to come in the years and the years and the years time, not right now. For now, someone can make a transformer out of the ships we already have. Now, let's go ahead. Have you been playing Sage? As I said in the last message about 2 minutes ago, I haven't been playing it myself as much as I really want, I'll be honest here. And I think that's just because I'm a bit scared of putting all my big ships into Sage because I don't have ledger support. Like, ledger support is there, but I can't be clicking all the time with the ledger. That is a no-go. That is a really bad immersion experience. And so because I can't bring all my big ships in there, I can't go and mine any giant minerals for myself. I've only been restricted to small items like traveling a little bit from the central space station, going to scan some SDUs with my jets because they're not even the great scanners, being honest. You need like 10 Fimble Lobies, that's Fimble air bikes, that's what you need. But basically, there has been some updates to Sage. I hope you've been keeping track. I've just gotten up to date like 3-4 days ago. So I just want to talk to you very briefly about it, right? So I'm going to log in here so that you guys can see the changes as well. And the best way to see your changes, right, guys, is to actually go and look at the version number that you are on, okay? This is my profile, MetaVerse Explorer. I'm sure you guys know me on chain already. So the version number is the best thing for you to go and see. That is actually on the top left. You see that? 1.0.296. Now, these are the updates for you. Before that, let's go ahead and look at the updates. So this is 294, right? Sage was never intended for a mobile game. They've now added some mobile support for it. Now, I did see some people in the Discord saying they've been playing it on their tablet, which is also not bad because it's an Android kind of thing, right? Cargo supply dialog actually closes. The undock all button is new. The exit all button is new. The undock all button to the hangar is there. Scan all button is really good for people who are using those macros. Yeah, that's a great thing. Like, so you don't have to always go down scan. Now you can just scan all and then it sends a transaction. Now, we can do a whole bunch of extra stuff with that stuff, but I think they're not trying to do too many changes because remember, we may be moving on from Sage in like 10 weeks, give or take. 3-4 months, hopefully we get Starbase. So there's no point doing a whole bunch of changes to it right now, right? So that's the old patch. Let's look at the new patch, right? So they did some game balancing, right? And this is super important for those really people who are really interested into like the economic factors and the economic, taking from here to there, arbitrage, that sort of stuff. So they actually updated the cargo weights for some of the products. Polymer went from 2 weight to a 1. Electronics went from the 3 to the 2. Power source was cut in half. So previously you could only hold a certain amount of power source because of their weight, but now you can handle twice as much, right? Energy went from 5 to 4, and some of the biggest ones were radiation absorbers from 10 to 6, particle 10 to 6. Now, one thing that they did change, which is really, really big, right? They reduced the fuel cost of subwarping by 64%. That is a giant cost saving, I'm going to be honest. They also increased the tool cost per scan by 10 times. Now, people were really unhappy with this in the Discord, but this is the team, right? This is what they have to do. They have to constantly adjust the parameters of the game so that they know that it's going to be viable. There's no point keeping it so low. We hit 1.5k limit every single 2 minutes, and then all of a sudden we're just getting 1.5k all the time, and all of a sudden, we're flooded with STUs, the market value crashes, it's not worth anything, not good, okay? So they want to try and get it ahead of time. So really, people were arguing that this is only helping the whales because then the whales have bigger ships, they can go out and scan for longer, but still, it's still pretty good for a smaller person. Now, I used to have a Fimble Lobie as well as like 10 air bikes in my ship, and that ended up being like maybe 5 or 6 hours scan usually, right? I just sit there, scan while I'm working or on the computer, watching anime, whatever. Every time I see it, I go click scan. But now, right, that actually only lasts maybe an hour, give or take. I haven't even done it for a while. So that only lasts about an hour. So you always have to be constantly going from your CSS or from your home base, wherever you set up your fuel to be, right? Your fuel and your tools. Go from your home base, go to where you're going to scan, come back, scan again. It's like a super short period. Now, if you've got a macro, that doesn't really matter because the macro is going to handle it for you. But for those manual players, it is way more tedious, right? Now, they also decreased the mining rate by 10% for economic balancing, decreased ammo and food consumption by 10% as well. Now, I'm going to leave it there. Now, I'm actually going to show you what that actually looks like. So, right, so you can go here, and usually when you go to like the CSS section, there is one thing I really want to tell you. Let me show you if it's actually here. Go to your inventory. You see that? That is what I really want. I'm going to be honest. This is long time coming. So when you create a new, this is the whole idea between the cargo pods, right? When you create a new Solana account to hold something in, it charges you rent. It's like 0.002 Solana, something like that, right? And when you go and disband your fleet, it doesn't give you that rent account back, right? When you go and transfer something, it doesn't give you that rent account back. But now they have fixed it. So right now you see this, I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. Hopefully it works. No, it doesn't work. Yeah, the zooming in function isn't great, especially on the map. I fucking hate it, right? You're trying to zoom in and out. You want to go all the way to the left, but you can't because there's only a small amount that you can actually click on, and the rest is covered by the UI of the fleet thing, of the fleet warping. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Anyway, this is what I wanted. What this does is it closes all those rent accounts for you. So this is 6 rent accounts I have on this account. That means I'm going to get like, how do I do that? 0.002 times 6 is 0.12 Solana. And if Solana is $20, that's 24 cents right there that I'm gonna get back. And I'm actually quite happy with that, you know? So I'm gonna click on that, go to your inventory, you may see that, close all of them. There is no point of having them open, okay? Because sometimes it'll just create a new one to hold your new rent account. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm this transaction, 0.024 Solana. And I'm going to get that back. I'm so happy that that has actually come across. Yeah, so I'm going to leave that. You guys go and check your stuff out and go and do it. Ooh, also, I'm showing you my entire inventory. You're not supposed to see this. Now, let's keep going. What has actually been crafted and what is left to craft? This is what some people really need to know, right? The obtainable loot, and this is like 3 days old already. So if you're seeing this, some of this stuff might have run out already. So Fimble Mamba X's, we got 5k left. Golden tickets are infinite, right? People crafting golden. We're up to like 500,000 golden tickets. Either 1,000 or 5? No, I think it's 500,000 golden tickets. And the team has still not announced when the first draw is going to be. Michael Wagner did post it in the Discord. He's like, oh, we're working on it still. It'll come later. As always, give them time. Thimble Butchers have all been crafted out, so don't even try and aim for one now, okay? Air bikes, the slowest, the cheapest crew you can get to go and scan or to go and craft anything, all out, okay? All out. Don't even try to scan, don't even try to do them anymore. The Thimble Mamba, there's 9 of them left. The Solo, 1.4k left. Unibomber, 2k. PSR 6, 14. I think I might not make the PSR 6. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I can make it. There's too much, too little to go around for people. Pepe, I gotta hurry up, either buy all of these on the market, all of the resources on the market, or like, you know, I just bring my big assets into Sage, and I don't want to do that. I'm a bit stuck. I want a PSR 6, I'll be honest. PSX4s, 711, they are going to be going very soon, no problems. Ogrica Tursik, 6 left. CSS Zeros, 260 left. The faction tier 1 claims are all gone, so now I guess people will be going to the CSS tier 0s. And of course the resources, you can craft them unlimited. Now this is from October the 12th. This is probably outdated. They're probably cut in half by now because people are ramping up. You know, those spreadsheet warriors are going hard. I'm gonna be honest with you, some people love this sort of stuff. Now, I wanted to look at the, I've got some stuff to look at first for the data for Star Atlas, but for now I want to take a look at the heat map. Prometheus, please don't get me in trouble for this. I should have asked in Discord before showing people this. I hope that's really okay. I'm sorry, I didn't have time. I just did it. I thought I should just go ahead and do it. But anyway, guys, this is some great info. And this is one of the reasons why you should be in AFIA, right? This is the kind of info we have access to. This is a heat map of all the people, of all the accounts that are scanning within a 5-minute period, right? So you can see here, we have of course, the brighter it is, the yellow it is, that means more people will be there. And the darker it is, the more purple it is, less people will be there. So automatically, you can identify where people are, right, around the CSS areas. So that's the Oni CSS, Oster CSS, and of course the Mud CSS. So people sub-warp 1 warp away from the CSS, and that is the general circle, right? And you can see there is barely anyone else actually scanning more than 1 sub-warp away, okay? So that's, I'd say that's generally 1 sub-warp away. You do 2 sub-warps away, you're like MRZ7 or like MRZ18, and there's no people around these areas. So there's still lots of places to go to scan, right? But what's funny, look at this guy. I wanna show you this guy. MRZ-20. Whoever MRZ-20 guy is pretty cool. He has a home base on MRZ-20, so he probably has a lot of fuel, and he probably has a lot of toolkits just set up in here. And then he subwarps all of his ships. This is a lot of ships, guys. That's how many fleets is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 4, like 25 ships, 25 fleets, give or take, right? And he subwarps them out into a giant circle that he knows he manages, and then he scans all of them. Not a bad move, right? And then he just comes back to MRZ-20. Like, and some people do something different. You see, this guy in MRZ-19, he has a small base here, and then he has multiple ships just like in line. You see this line? That is absolutely crazy. Look at this. Some people just set up their own little quadrants and they control that quadrant. Same as this. See that? So people are kind of going into, now I'm going to be honest with you, this is not a real person that's staying there for a long time that's scanning. That is a macro. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Let's be honest. So yeah, people are liking it. People are scanning. People are having their own little kind of groove into it, right? Here. People have their own sectors. 31. That's probably one person just at MRZ 31 who set up his camp there. He's going to stay there for months until we go into Starbase, and he's not going to come back, right? He's just going to keep everything there, and one day he's going to pull all of that back to the CSS and transfer it to his wallet, and he'll have like 1 million STU, for God's sake. Yes, okay, so that's the heat map, Prometheus. I'm sorry, again, I just wanted to share it with the rest of Star Atlas. Hopefully that's okay. Now, let's move on. No, don't want to talk about that. Let's have a look at some pictures, shall we? I hadn't looked at these before. I glanced at them, but I didn't share it with you, so I thought I should share with you. This is the Visa Solo. Now, it is looking pretty slick. I do have I have 2 Visa Solo myself, so nothing crazy in my fleet, but they do look pretty good. They're not supposed to be the best racers, but they are very aesthetically pleasing, and as you can see here, it does look pretty good. Next one from the top, it's the same kind of thing. I do love the attention to detail they do put in. See all of these jets, don't know what they're quite doing there, don't know what these 3 Ys are, not sure what they're doing there, but it's aesthetically pleasing. That is what I want, and that's what Star Atlas is, right? They're always saying they want to go one step ahead because it's UE5. They want to show the beauty of it, otherwise it's the same as any other Star-based game, you know? Now this is from the backside, from the backside, because the person will be sitting over here. It looks pretty good, right? Nothing else to say, and that's a top view of it. Now, before we keep going, I want to remind everyone there is a giant community meetup happening at Solana Breakpoint, right? October 31st. I'm not sure if Star Atlas, if a Funcracker as well is the one organizing the Edge High thing, but I know people are going on a boat trip in the Solana Breakpoint. So please, if you're going to be in and around Lisbon, Solana Breakpoint, just go and meet some people in Star Atlas, right? Tell them MetaVerse Explorer sent you and you want to hang out a little bit. So yeah, go ahead guys, it's going to be fun, right? This is the community. We all got to get to know each other, especially if we end up making it. Now, next up, I want to show you some pictures of the Ogrica Tursic. It has been looking pretty good as well. Sorry, the Ogrica Nirich, not the Tursic. This is the Nirich. I always say, whenever I say the Nirich, it's like cockroach, because it looks like a cockroach. Look at it. That's what I get from it, right? It's sleek and it's slim and it's like high tech and stuff, but it still looks like a cockroach. But that's me, the untrained eye, okay? That's not to say it is a cockroach, because you can see it's not a cockroach. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Alright, now, it is looking pretty good. It's a 2-seater. It's got this leather interior, which is pretty nice. The inside as well, man. When that ship is in UE5, or if you have it on a headset in VR, oh, it will be beautiful. It will be so beautiful. Pepe, this is the type of ship I really want to have. And I wanted to actually get this. Oh, I was going to get this from the Never Alone campaign. But what happened to the Never Alone campaign? Are we getting any of that stuff from there? Another one of the team just bringing up stuff and not really giving us a timeline on it. You know, guilds are still waiting to redeem some of their stuff. We should keep an eye on that. Now, inside as well, interior. Look at the leather. Look at the detail on the leathering. Oh man, that's crazy. The stitching. This is what UE5 can do for us, right? It's an amazing engine, and there's so much we can do. By the way, someone said we can post these because it's got the logo on it. If it doesn't have the logo on it, I can't show it. That's just what I remember. Now, what's happening in the Foundation room? I wanted to remind you of some really important stuff, and I don't feel bad about reading it then, because then that changes what I should be doing. So this was about the economic state and the output, right? So right now, Crypto says there's no data on chain that I'm aware of that would tell us why a player might choose one of 3 factions, because they're pretty similar. Some resources are spread out a little bit, some are closer, but overall it's even, right? All factions have the same resources and have relatively equal distance distributions from the CSS. Yes, one can point out minor asymmetries in the resource layout, but I wouldn't give that much weight long term. A few whales, min-maxing logistics could make up the bulk of the differences here. Regardless, listen to this. With the LP Atlas distribution method coming with star-based, that's the LP distribution, right? That means with star-based, you get to do stuff for your faction, like build up a CSS, build up a space station. You get accrued LP points. You go and redeem stuff with those LP points, or you go and trade it in for Atlas. And with randomized asteroid spawns, there will be natural economic balancing pressures across the faction. Whoa, we're getting randomized asteroid spawns. That's awesome, man. I didn't know they were considering it randomized. That would be actually pretty nice, because that would really deter a lot of, that would be one method to stop a lot of the macros, because so they can't just program it and leave it there. Because if it's a finite resource that spawns every once in a while, you go mine it, that's it, it's done. Then you go and have to find something else, right? So people may need 2 macros, one visually to go and scan the blockchain and see where it is, and then one macro to go and get it. I'll stop talking about macros. I know people don't like it, but it's the harsh reality and the truth, guys, let's be honest. Now, that's what he said there. Now, Xcode was coming back to Brian about the USDC pairs for the resources that are on the market right now. Because remember, the resources are being traded in USDC and Atlas. We don't really want that. Why are we splitting the liquidity of the assets itself? It should be on one market, right? Also, because Atlas is the game currency, it should be used for all things in the game, like Atlas, like resources, right? So he said, before we remove the USDC pairing, we need to create some tooling to close all the USDC ARPers as we close those markets. We may get to it as early as this week. What? That's out of nowhere. People will be like, what is happening? There's a number of other things coming out this week that may take priority. What else is coming out this week? As far as I know, we had Starbase in like 1 or 2 months, but this week, what else is coming out? Maybe a new update or a patch for the Sage Labs. I don't know what else is coming, so we got to keep an eye on this. It's much more likely to be more than a week till we get it, which is still fine. I think it's not that big of a deal for the liquidity, because let's be honest, liquidity is a little bit smaller now. It'll get there, but there's less people in the community so far. So yeah, there's some stuff coming this week. I don't know what it is. Do you know what it is? If you know, leave a comment section. Leave it in the comment section. Now, guys, before I finish the video, it's been about 20 minutes so far. I want to chat to you about the statistics, okay? I'm not very good in Sage Labs itself, but still, you can see what is happening on chain, and I'm going to use the AFIA Flipside dashboard and show you what I'm seeing, and let's just go through it, give you my commentary on it a little bit. So, first off, this is there's 2 dashboards, right? This is the global overview, and then this is the gameplay analytics, okay? So, in the global overview, I want to see what is happening with Sage Labs. This is the SDU chart, okay? I'm going to zoom all the way in. I'm going to remove my face a little bit so you can see. This is the SDU chart, okay? It is going pretty steady. We're going around $4, 4 Atlas, 4.5 Atlas for the SDUs, while volumes are round about medianing about 15K, 50K, 27K, 11K, 8K, 27K, 178K. While the golden tickets as well are going down in price, being honest. They start at 70. Let me move myself away. They start at, they've been going down from 75, 72, 65, 54, 62. So the golden tickets seem to be reducing in price, mostly because people are bringing all their resources back to the CSS and they're trading the stuff in, right? They're going to craft it. It's much easier to craft now because people have access to all of it. And yeah, it's just keep going down. So let's look at the daily price tables. Diamond has gone down less than 13 Atlas, which is crazy, right? Here's the R4 trading volume. Nothing really to say here, but what I wanted to talk to you about was the toolkits. Look at that. Toolkits are still really high, right? Remember how, let me bring myself back so you can see me. Remember how we're talking before how toolkits were being bought up because they didn't have any utility in Sage Labs because people were speculating on it for combat, right? Because you could repair your ship, right? And they had a minor utility in Sage Labs for scanning for SDUs. But now that price, that demand has gone up literally 10x. 10x demand for the toolkit because it takes 10 more times as much SDUs to actually scan. So we're seeing the price actually still keep being inflated at 388% of what they're originally worth by the team, right? So this is pretty interesting to see. Now, the ship prices, I don't want to talk about the ship prices itself, but I want to talk about the return on investment on some of these ships, guys. Now, these ships and the SDUs, of course. Now, I'm going to take myself away here again. Now, I want you to keep in mind, the margin on some of this stuff is still going up and up and up. Why? Because the resources are going up and up and up, because ammo is costing more and more, because people are scanning more and more. So look at this. Imp 1 is giving you a 92% return on interest. That is a crazy amount, right? That is huge. Imp 2, 86%. Imp 3, 36%, 63%. Even the claim stakes are giving you 50 and 49 and 59. Sometimes, you know, you gotta wonder, should you be holding this? Should you be selling all this? Should you be accumulating this? Man, it's hard to know sometimes, right? Now, the ships is what I really want to talk to you about. Excuse me, while I give one sneeze. Apologies there. Excuse me. Now, the ships. Guys, if you have ships in score, you really need to reconsider if you should still have them in there. Some of these smaller ships, the return on interest is horrible. Why? Because the resource cost is going up, right? Look at this. Look at this. We'd like to keep an eye on this, okay? I want to show you. The Thimble Airbike is now negative. The Thimble Airbike is negative. I don't remember it being negative before, right? Look at all this here. That's the purple. It didn't used to be negative. Now it's actually flipped negative. It's minus 0.1. So if you're having any Thimble Airbikes in score, it's literally costing you more money to have it in there than what you're making from it. It's a negative return. So you might as well take them out from score while they're negative now and do something with it. Craft with it in Sage, for God's sake. Go and buy resources on the cheap and use your ships or use your Thimble Airbikes to go and craft them, because you are losing when you're having them in score. What else are you going to do with it? I don't know. What else can you do with it apart from go and scan SDUs or go and use them for crafting? So yeah, the Thimble Airbike is negative, guys. The Visa Solo is pretty close. What else? The PX-X4 is pretty close as well. Opal Jet is also pretty close. They're like not even a 1% ROI. Why is it even worth keeping it in there? No, do something with it. What about the extra small ships? We already know the Thimble Lobby has been negative for a very long time, right? It was the first ship to turn negative. And now we have the PSX5 has also turned negative. For a while, it wasn't negative. You see that, the blue one, right? I'm going to take myself away here. For a while, it wasn't negative, but now you can see it's actually below the 0 line. So it's actually negative, PSX5. If you have a PSX5 in score, take it out, right? Take it out. Use it in Sage somehow. Use it for scanning, whatever you want to do. Some of these small ships are still teetering on the edge. They're below like the 6% ROI mark. Still not a great place to be, right? The lowest so far, I think, is the Ogrica, what is it? What is this one? Ogrica Mick. The Ogrica Mick is the lowest. The Mick is at a 1.1% return on investment. Yuck. Now, what about the medium ships? What's actually below this? We have the Thimble Mamba. Whoa, look at that. The Thimble Mamba. No way. The Thimble Mamba is actually a negative 1.5. I hope people are realizing this and taking their ships out, right? I really hope so. What's the next thing? It's the brown one. The are you kidding me? The ATS Enforcer is like nearly on a 0. Man, I have a Thimble Mamba and an ATS Enforcer. Why am I still keeping it in score? It's on my ledger. It's got to go out. We've got to do something with it. Hell, maybe I should just sell it, right? I should just sell it. Maybe I'll wait until Starbase comes out. The large ship, 2%. The smallest one is the Ogrica ATP. What's the ATP Ogrica? Not Jodoceres. It's the... what's the ATP? I forget. What else is here? Nothing. What else is there? Nothing. So guys, you got to keep on track of this. Don't get distracted by Sage. There's a larger economy of staratlas going on, right? Let's have a look at Sage Labs very quickly. The mining rate is still pretty good. nothing else to show here actually. This is fine. Let's move on. I'll show you about the next analysis dashboard, which is the gameplay analysis, right? So I want to look at the employment rate, refill rate. 70% people are not refilling their stuff as much as they should be. These are the rewards coming out from Sage. Active players in, I think this active players is for Sage, is for the score itself. So that has been slowly decreasing, right? Because people are taking out their ships and going into Sage. Faction claims, employment rate is 94%, which is crazy. Harvest rate is 88%. This is for faction claims themselves, and its active is 3.7%. So there's a small minority that's actually not being active in the claim stakes. They're still leaving some stuff on there to accrue and not actually use that properly. Now, what I wanted to show you next was also, do we have anything for Sage Labs? Yeah, let's look at this. So far, in the last 21 minutes, we have been using 8.75% of Solana transactions. And at one time, we got up to like 16% or something crazy. That's why we're probably kind of headlining at the staratlas conference, let's be honest. Now, active players have slowly been increasing, starting to taper off a little bit. Total transactions still up and to the right. And you can see here that the total transactions have really gone down. I think, if you see this, I think this disparity is actually from the turning on of the Sage Labs 100x tool. That's what I think it is. You can just easily look at the dates to see if that's actually correct, because then, you know, some bots weren't able to send transactions because they run out of it and they weren't set up properly enough. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Let's look at mining, see what else is happening there. Mining, the highest being mined is hydrogen, of course, because everyone needs that for fuel, and you need fuel to go and do anything anywhere, and it's actually very accessible from the CSS space stations. What is being crafted the most? Not the most, but at least you can see what is being crafted versus what is being burnt. So this is a calculation between when you craft something, you're going to burn it, right? And it creates something. So far we're in like a small negative, we're in a small deficit of people hoarding stuff themselves, which is natural, right? So we're about a $0.5 billion unit of things that people are keeping in their inventories. And some of that will go on into higher tiers, for example. But yeah, it's a good metric to keep on top of. Okay, so you can keep going and digging and seeing what the hell is happening and all of this sort of stuff. But I think let's just stop it there, right? Just a reminder, the score. Some of the ships in there need to be taken care of. Like myself, I need to go and take care of my ships, probably remove it. And that's it. Okay, I'm going to keep on track of staratlas. It is still getting harder. I don't play score as much. I am waiting for star-based a little bit so I can have a bit more UI. It's nicer. Maybe the account feature. See what else is happening this week. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on in staratlas. So I hope you're keeping track. I hope you're around. And I hope you are at least subscribed. I'm going to leave you and love you. Ciao, guys. Bye.